This week on Longshot TV.
Another gobbler just sounded off back behind the hog house. Him and a couple of hens came back across the field. The next day, I've got Dad that's gonna meet me down here on the farm. He blasted on one.
They were coming around the edge of this field. I was sitting like this. I said, I hope I get him.
Last week about put me into a state of depression. Probably about 4 o'clock that afternoon, I get a tom. He turns right around and works right off where he came from. We got one right after another flying down into the field.
You're on that first one, closest to us.
Yes. All right. I started off this year hunting in South Carolina and have no luck. I hunted a bunch of WMA land here around the beach and hunted over in Dillon, South Carolina, and just couldn't put it together. So when South Carolina or North Carolina season comes in, I go up there and to hunt a lot around Delaware, North Carolina, and I've got this one farm I hunt, and through the past couple of years, it's always been faithful, and halfway through the season, I forget everything else, and I go back to that one farm because I know I can always pull off a good kill there. All right, I got my trail camera set up right here. This is the point. Got a hayfield over here, hog lagoon on my right, and birds work right through here. Sometimes they roost on the back of the hayfield. Sometimes they roost behind this hog lagoon right here. Got my cameras checked out. Things are looking pretty good on this point. Had a tom showed up a few days in a row in the evening, and then on the back side of the hog lagoon had probably that same tom, bobcat, some deer, and a double-bearded tom that really excites me. Never actually had one of those in front of me, so I make up my mind right then I'm gonna camp out. I'm gonna set my blind up right here, and I'm gonna hunt here for the next couple of days. Try to get my eyes on this double-bearded turkey. I'm set up on the back of this hog house. There's a lagoon right out here, and around the edge of this lagoon is some good grass, and these birds feed on throughout the day. I've got a hayfield on the other side of the lagoon. I've got some pictures over there also on the point. It's hard to know where to set up, but I know we've always seen a lot of birds right here in this area, so I'm gonna sit tight here for today and see if I can put it together.
Side of the lagoon.
All morning long, I had one tom firing off in the hayfield, and like I was saying, I was tucked back in here, so I couldn't see exactly where he was at, whether he was in the woods or in the field.
I've got a little berm, so I can't see anything, but he's gobbled back twice, so I'm gonna just shut up. Hopefully he'll come this way.
It was probably lunchtime or so. I finally just had all I could take. I still occasionally heard him gobble, but you know, you can only just sit for so long in a ground blind. Well, I was gonna get out and go get a bite to eat, but got up here by the hog house and looked out across the hayfield. Daggone if there ain't two hens and a big old tom out there strutting. If I had a cameraman, you know, maybe we could ease around there and get set up, but doing it myself, there's pretty much no way. I was tucked in here behind this hog lagoon, the hog house, and I couldn't see that field, and it was just killing me. So that afternoon, I decided to pick up and move to the other side of the hayfield. Call me crazy, but I've picked up all my stuff and moved again. I saw a couple of hens and a tom strutting over here this morning. It's about 3 o'clock now. When I got out a while ago, I saw another bird over here in this corner. Don't know whether it was a tom or a hen, but
I'm gonna trim a few limbs and tuck my blind right up in under this overhanging tree. Got some open woods behind me, hayfield out in front. Birds seem to be working this side pretty good, so we'll see what happens.
You know, finally I get this hen out in the field off to my left, and she works around the back of the field, and she's actually goes over there around the point and feeds off towards the hog house.
Before the break on Longshot TV.
Got my cameras checked out. Things are looking pretty good on this point. Come on, gobbler. Got up here by the hog house and looked out across the hayfield. Daggone, there ain't two hens and a big old tom. Call me crazy, but I've picked up all my stuff and moved again.
She works around the back of the field, and she's actually goes over there around the point and feeds off towards the hog house. But it wasn't long at all after I saw her. I actually had a tom on the other side of the field on the right come across, and he worked out over to the hog house, and he fed right out there. There's this spot where they used to have, last year they had a bunch of hay bales out there. There's a bunch of sourweed and stuff out there, and time and time again I drive up on this field and there's turkeys out there, and it's, you know, probably the best place to hunt this farm would be inside the hog house. So you know, I end up seeing this turkey, and he just stays on that side of the field, and the sun sets, and you know, I have nothing over here, so the pretty much the cat and mouse game has begun. It was probably mid-morning or so. Had a couple of birds work across the field, and all morning long had a tom back on the other side of the field by the hog house gobbling.
I've been trying to call a little bit. Actually, there was another gobbler just sounded off back behind the hog house. And they're here. No time at all passed by that tom finally broke out, and him and a couple of hens came back across the field, and you know, it's like they're skirting the field everywhere but where I'm at. The blind I've got tucked way up under some limbs, haven't brushed in good. You know, I mean, there's no way that they know where I'm at. I can't see the corner because I'm tucked back in the woods a little bit, but I lost sight of them. Two jakes ran across the field, screaming across there. Hopefully they'll come by here. I got my back window open. I may have to switch everything around and hunt behind me. The next day, I've got Dad that's going to meet me down here on the farm and hunt with me, and he knows I've been hunting quite a few days, and so he asked me, you know, where do you think I ought to go? And I say, well, I've been seeing a ton of birds over by the point there at the hog house, you know, milling around that sourweed, so I think I'm gonna move my blind over there. And I said, you know, this field's plenty big enough. Why don't you
get over here where I've been camped out the last day or so. It wasn't long after that I get a hen in front of me.
Before the break on Longshot TV.
Another gobbler just sounded off back behind the hog house. And they're here.
Tom finally broke out, and him and a couple of hens came back across the field. The next day, I've got Dad that's gonna meet me down here on the farm and hunt with me, and it wasn't long after that I get a hen in front of me.
Dad's actually on the other side of the field. He said 3 just flew down.
Probably 30 minutes it took them birds to work around. He fires off a shot, and I'm sitting there in my blind, and I jump.
Luck of the draw, they went that way, and he blasted them one. I'm excited. Man, that's his first turkey. I can't wait to get over there. Bad as I need to sit here, I'm gonna slip out and go help him out, and we'll go get some breakfast, and I'll come back. Got him. Big old bird.
First bird I ever killed. They were coming around the edge of this field. There was 4 of them. And he happened to be the first one to get around far enough. I could get in the head. Yeah, I was right behind that limb right over there. And he was right out here. He wasn't far. I could see through there. Saw him fly down over there. I debated whether I needed to go that way or just stay right here. But they kept coming on around. I was sitting like this when he got around there. I said, I hope I get him. I ain't missing.
I get back in the blind, and the evening prior, I saw a good Tom over here by the hog house, and I've got plenty of trail cam pictures.
About 1:40. Not seen a bird since that hen I saw right before Dad shot this morning. I tell you last week about put me into a state of depression. I drive around and see birds. Got trail camera pictures right here. Any given time you can drive in this field and see turkeys out here. But I come camp out on it. They go to the other side of the field. Somebody has found my horseshoe and dumped every bit of luck I ever had out.
Probably about 4 o'clock that afternoon, I get a Tom that comes out right by the grain bins, and I've got him at 80 yards or so, and he's just milling around out there, and he's working down the edge of the hog house, and that 80 yards turns into 70 yards, and I call a little bit, but it being warm weather, the fans are running in the hog house, and it's loud. Whether he's hearing my calling or just ignoring it, I don't know. He ends up, he turns right around and works right off where he came from. I just can't get him pulled by me here. And that's how reality is, that's how turkey hunting is. And you just do what you can, and I'm not going to give up. You know, I'm not going to pull out a shotgun. I'm going to keep right on bow hunting, and I'm going to keep right on until I get one.
Before the break on Longshot TV.
Dad's actually on the other side of the field. He said 3 just flew down.
They were coming around the edge of this field. I was sitting like this. I said, I hope I get it.
Last week about put me into a state of depression. Probably about 4 o'clock that afternoon, I get a tom. He turns right around and works right off where he came from. I was behind the camera, and my oldest son Buck was there beside me. He had a shotgun, and we were just gonna sit tight. And it wasn't long after sunrise, we had a bunch of birds fly down out of the roost. And it was neat, you know, just being able to record that. You know, we got one right after another flying down into the field, and the wheat was pretty high out in that field, so it was tough to see once they hit the ground. But it was probably, you know, only 35 minutes or so into the hunt after they flew down that those birds started working our way. We saw a bunch of heads started popping up out, looking around, and they were working our way towards us.
First one, closest to us. Alright. You ready? Yes. Sweet. Get some. Are you kidding me? 2 and 1, baby.
He laid the hammer down on them birds, and they both fell right over. Feathers were flying everywhere.
They got some real nice beards on them. They just came right in, no decoys, no calls, nothing. I cannot believe it. Came in, we saw 4 hens walking back there. Daddy said, here they come, here they come. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, 2 toms right there walking right down the woods line. They got right where I could see them, boom, got them both. Yeah, these are some heavy jokers, I can tell you that.
I was tickled to death. You know, I've been hunting a lot of years, and hunting with my dad, and hunting by myself, and hunting with my boys, and this was definitely one of the highlights of my life.
Want to find out more about Longshot TV? Look us up on the following. Special thanks goes out to our friends and partners at Country Boy Outfitters.